हरे जयो प्रभुपदा जयो प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जयो प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जयो पञ्चतत्त्वा जयो पञ्चतत्त्वा पञ्चतत्त्वा जयो पञ्चतत्त्वा निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय श्रीला गुरु महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रपात की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
What about others? It's very important. Jagannath Prabhu, you do a kirtan for another 5 minutes. Let us see if others are joining. Is that okay? Will you be able to do? Mhm. What is happening here?
Uh,
Okay, I'll do Navaneet. Navaneet is in also in listening mode. Okay, Abhishek.
no, Mataji, I'm not listening much. I kind of put it last time, it is the same.
Okay, we'll wait for 3-4 minutes, okay?
Yeah, Mataji, we'll do Kirtan.
Mm.
Sorry, Mataji, by mistake I put listening last time, it's the same.
Or I'll do.
I'll do Mataji.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataha Goswami Iti Namine Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayini Gaurakada Damadaya Nagara Grama Tarini Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यादिसतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe, Jaya Narsimhadev, Narsimhadev, Jaya Narsimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Anantadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. With all Gaura Premanandis, Hari Bol, Radha Madhava Ashtasaki Vrinda ki Jai, Giriraj Maharaj Mayapur Chandra ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Sundar ki Jai, Radha Madhava Ashtasaki Vrinda ki Jai, Prahlad Narsimha Dev Ananta Dev ki Jai, Panchatatva ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Welcome to this chapter, 9th chapter. This Bhagavad Gita contains 18 chapters. This 9th chapter is the middle chapter. The name of this chapter is the most confidential knowledge. So here Vyasadeva named this chapter as the most confidential knowledge. So really, wonderfully, certain verses, Krishna is revealing great secrets, wonderful secrets in this chapter, like gems and jewels. When you take this instructions from Krishna, you'll be highly successful. Very highly successful. So such secret slokas are hidden. So the confidential word means secret. So here, directly Krishna is telling it's a secret. And what is the qualification to receive the secret also Krishna is telling. First he is telling what is the qualification to receive the secret, to understand the secret. So sometime the Bhagavad Gita is a book which is open. Yogis, jnanis, materialistic people, mayavadis. Certain times we see management gurus. Everybody taking, because it's a very famous book, they are quoting it and becoming famous. Or they quote it as a reference. But still, the original concepts within the book are not revealed to everybody. There are certain concepts, certain qualification required to understand Bhagavad Gita. If you're going to go and join a course in some university, they will say that certain pre-qualification in the prospectus, it will be written. You must have been pre-educated with this qualification. You must have scored this much marks. You should have taken specialization of this particular subject. Your age must be this much. Like that. Even for joining some job, you're applying for some government job, something. They'll ask certain qualification. Okay. Same way, for reading Bhagavad Gita, there are certain qualifications which are already mentioned by Krishna. Directly, Krishna mentions these qualifications. So, in the 4th chapter, he mentions you can read Bhagavad Gita. Anybody can read Bhagavad Gita. But whether you take the essence or not, it depends on Krishna whether to reveal it to you or not. How much he want to reveal, that much only he will reveal. So, he is telling in 4th chapter, Bhaktosi me sahacheti ragasyam edaduttamam. There is a rahasya. That is the rahasya. Why I am revealing it to you, Arjuna, is because you are my bhakta and you are my friend. You are my devotee and my friend. Bhaktosi me saha cheti rahasyam edaduttamam. It's a uttama rahasya. There are many secrets. Many secrets. People say that, hey, you want to know a secret? When we were children, we used to say, hey, you know one secret? Like this. There is one more road on the other side. I went there and there is a forest and there is one house. Like this. We talk some secrets, no? So like that, there is secrets which Krishna wants to reveal. And he specifies the qualification who will really understand. Everybody may have Bhagavad Gita in their hand. Everybody may hear, listen, but the revelation has to come from the heart. And this revelation coming from the heart, the password protected, and this will be revealed as per the qualifications set by Krishna. That is why I always used to say that the sincerity to yourself, the integrity is very important. Don't become a Bahirmukha Bhakta. Bahirmukha Bhakta means internally not contented, living for the vision of others. We are not integral to ourselves, rather we are living for the exhibition of others. So when we do that, we are excellent devotee, we show qualifications, we like to get appreciation of devotees, stay in the good books. Of course, that gives a lot of blessings. It's not a waste at all. Prabhupada say, imitating, you'll become real devotee. That is there, of course. But if you want to really get beneficial, of course, we have to be in good books of devotees. We should love everybody, devotee and non-devotee. But we cannot exhibit that I love the non-devotees, that they'll think that we are liking them as bodies. They have another vision. So we don't enter into that. So we may have great respect for them, affection for them, because as a spirit soul, they are part and parcel of Krishna. So we may have that, but we may not exhibit it. But for devotees, we can exhibit. There's nothing wrong. But doing extra glorification, doing false glorification, just to maintain relationship, at the same time projecting ourselves as good devotees. So apart from all these things, Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everybody's heart, in every atom, and is conscious of all living entity. And he knows what we are. We are so transparent to the Lord. So it's very important to stay very integrated person. So integral to ourselves, whether somebody watching us, not watching us, but we have to be totally integrated. I will be a devotee, I'll be my Guru Maharaj's servant, disciple. I have promised, we have done commitment. See, committing is a great protection. A great protection comes from the Acharya Parampara, staying committed. And at the same time, the commitment keeps us tied up to this regulated lifestyle. So that is a great blessing our Acharya Parampara is giving. It's a great blessing. So this will keep us straight, keep us in form. So here again Krishna is putting certain qualification to know again Ragasyam. Again another secret Krishna is telling, most confidential knowledge. Vyasadeva named it because Krishna is telling that I'm going to tell something confidential, and there is certain qualification. After that, of course, he is going to open up about himself and about how to stay as a devotee that will not captured by the clutches of Maya, will never be captured by the clutches of Maya. But so there are three parts we can say this entire chapter talks about. Overall, of course, we'll have even smaller sections. We'll see that today, tomorrow, we'll see the summary and then go into the chapter. So the first portion is mainly the confidentiality, and then Krishna reveals about he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He openly declares he is Ishvara. First time Krishna openly declares that he is the direct Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very nicely in this chapter. After that, he is revealing how to stay as his devotee and what is the benefit of being his devotee. But before all that, the first verse talks about the qualification. Second verse talks about that this is the secret Krishna is going to reveal, and it will not be realization will not be for everyone. where the Lord is the one decision maker because he sets the qualification. So we see to that we are seriously taking that qualification. As I said earlier, Bhaktosi me saha cheti rahasyam me vidyat uttamam. So we have to keep on checking whether I am staying as Bhakta and a friend of Krishna. Am I confidential? My confidential matters, am I revealing it to Krishna? Am I interested seriously to know about Krishna? What is the purpose? What is the motivation from my side doing all this stuff? I may be chanting, I may be. So, what is my motivation? So, we talked about pure devotional service in the previous chapter. Krishna very nicely revealed. First, he's talked about in the 7th chapter. He started with those who will surrender, those who will not surrender. Then there are pure devotees. Everything he revealed, and then he said that how pure devotees are very dear to him, and then the explanation of pure devotional service is given very, very clearly compared to other yogis, jnanis. There are other transcendentalists, of course, apart from materialistic people, there are transcendental people in that the bhaktas are very, very dear to Krishna, and the characters we saw how was they are not interested in. They remember Krishna at the time of death because they are naturally Krishna conscious throughout life. They don't pick up as acting. During the time of death, I act as if as a devotee and I will somehow get into. No, it's not possible. Unless you practice throughout your life under the bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to do it at the time of death. It is impossible. We require great help, great strength from the entire Acharya Parampara, disciplic succession, because I'm connected to my Guru, and my Guru is connected to his Guru, and his Guru is connected to his Guru, and his Guru is connected to his Guru. If you know the purpose of life, why Guru Maharaj is maintaining his life, what is the purpose? Many people will say that that project, this project, people may have many projects for which, what is the purpose of their life? They may have many agenda. But the agenda of a disciple is to live to fulfill the instruction of the spiritual master, no other reason. So if you say, Guru Maharaj, why you are maintaining his life, still his body is totally broken, still why you want to survive? Everybody is struggling for existence. Everybody want not to leave the body. Everybody want to stay back eternally in this material world, which is temporary. It is so clear and obvious. Our great-grandfather, everybody died. Grandfather died. Parents also will die. They are also getting old. Everybody, even we are going to die. We know that, but still everybody is struggling. But a spiritual master will not struggle like that. If he has to go, Rakhe Krishna Mare Krishna Rakhe. If Krishna is calling, he'll just leave. Anybody can just leave. There's no use of anybody living in this world. But a spiritual master who's got served his spiritual master very sincerely and has got personal instruction, he is all worthy of living. So the reason Prabhupada prayed, same thing we can see. Why when Prabhupada had a heart attack, he asked his disciples to pray that my spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has given me certain instructions. I have not completed it, my dear Lord Krishna. If you so desire, kindly make me stay till I complete that desire. After that, I can leave. There's no issue. I come for a mission. And the mission is revealed by spiritual master. Only for sincere disciples it will happen, not for anybody and everybody. So the Acharya Parampara is very powerful Acharya Parampara verses. So Prabhupada, the same way Guru Maharaj also is sustaining his life no matter what, is because there are certain instructions directly conveyed. Because when a disciple sincerely serves spiritual master, the spiritual master becomes pleased. And spiritual master knows he is not a conditioned soul. He is a liberated soul, and he knows the sincerity within the heart of a disciple, and he can identify very clearly who is who. He is not bewildered. So only for them he gives personal instructions, not for anybody and everybody. Because if they don't fulfill the spiritual master's instruction, what is that? That is the biggest Nama Aparadh. It's one of the Nama Aparadh. Disobeying the order of the spiritual master and considering the spiritual master as an ordinary person. That is the third offense to the holy name. And it's one of the biggest Vaishnava Aparadh. So the spiritual master will not throw away instructions so casually in the street. You won't treat the instructions cheap. So the sincerity of the disciple is known very well, tested very well, then only he gives personal instructions. So we are very, very fortunate to have Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, who has got very pleased his spiritual master and got many instructions. And he's holding his life just to fulfill that. Once that is over, mission over, then he has to go to the other place. Body is not permanent. He'll move on to the next place, again to serve his own spiritual master, eternal spiritual master. And there will be mission and task existing in the material world, in every universe, to liberate the conditioned souls, to impart the conditioned soul with their forgotten relationship with Krishna, remind them, give them back the Krishna Prem which they have lost. There is mission, and they keep on doing eternally. They do this mission. And then if you know the reason why Guru Maharaj has to stay alive, not because you have affection to him, so your dirty material world and you want to pull him to the material world, make him stay eternally. No, he has affection towards his spiritual master, and he has given him some task, and he will complete the task. He will move on, and the task will be to make you get Krishna Prem, make you get complete Krishna consciousness. Only after you get connected to the chain of disciplic succession, you can realize it. Otherwise, we can ask many questions, ask many realizations, this, that, and all that. There's no realizations at all for a person who's not connected to the chain of disciplic succession. He gets information, he gets understanding in the intelligence level. The intelligence belongs to body, but the spirit soul gets realizations. And that is the soul platform. And that revelation happens only in the connection of Acharya Parampara. That is in the 4th chapter, Krishna again reveals that evam parampara praptam imam rajarshiyo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. The yoga is getting nashta and I'm sitting up. Again, Acharya Parampara. Through parampara system only it can be known. So the importance of getting initiated, 4th chapter completely he told. Now again, 8 finished, now 9th chapter, he is going to reveal the secrets. Very wonderful secrets, and again qualifications. The set of qualifications, getting initiated, staying as a friend and devotee, commitment. Sometimes people have this boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, and there are so many breakups. Mostly when they do into marriage, they think so many times to break up. It is a big thing, divorce. Even though divorce is introduced, but in earlier days there was no divorce. They just continue. Same way, when one is committed, the commitment is very different. When non-committed, non-committed. So when you're connected with your spiritual master is connected with his spiritual master. So what is the purpose of life of your spiritual master? Is to live for the instruction of his spiritual master. And if you see Srila Prabhupada, what is the reason for him staying alive? He could have passed away any time. He's an old man. Many times he says, I'm an old man. But he stayed back because to complete the instruction of his spiritual master. Once Krishna felt, okay, now this is done, then Krishna left, took him away from this vision. Of course, he is living through his instructions and teachings, but still, as a personality to mix with. Same with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, same with Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, same with Bhakti Vinod Thakur, same with Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, same with Narottam Das Thakur, same with, in this way, same with Shat Goswamis. They all live to fulfill the instruction of Lord Chaitanya, who is their spiritual master. Same with Lord Chaitanya. He had a mission to complete. He completed the mission, which is set by his spiritual master, Ishwara Puri. And then, in this way, if you see the entire parampara, they are all living for the purpose of spiritual master. What to speak of a person who doesn't have a spiritual master, he doesn't have a purpose in life? What difference does it make whether he lives or he dies? So the purpose of life begins when one gets connected to the chain of disciplic succession. When one is not connected to the chain, hanging around like a hanging garden of Babylon. The terrace, they made a garden, and they call it a hanging garden of Babylon. But actually, there is a mud, is very limited mud. How much mud? 2 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet they can put. And gradually it will get diminished, but directly getting grounded in the rooted in the original mud is so very different from in a pot or in a terrace. It's so very different. So the one who's grounded directly, the root spread in the mud is so very different. So that is possible by the blessing of the chain of disciplic succession where we are connected to. So let us see another wonderful qualification which Krishna is telling, and then he is going to reveal the secret. And what kind of secret? It's a very, very high class secret. So this is the chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Of course, we'll see that more confidential knowledge, most confidential knowledge, and even more confidential knowledge. Like the 3 levels we will see. We'll see in the initial portions. Just a second. Initial portions of Bhagavad Gita, we had this one confidentiality revealed. Rahasyam edaduttamam. So that is a transcendental knowledge. Then we had knowledge of the absolute at chapter 7. Now comes the most confidential knowledge. And in the 18th chapter, Krishna will reveal the very, 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 very most confidential knowledge. But everything is centered around Bhakti Yoga. That you should know that the Bhakti Yoga, affection for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the center. And Krishna again and again brings back one to this only to devotional service to Krishna. Again and again, and especially to pure devotional service to Krishna. Okay, let us see this portion. As I said, it is divided. We can divide it into 3 portions overall, but actually 5 or 6 small sections are there. We'll see that one by one. Screen sharing. Okay, chapter 9. Somebody read chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Read the first verse.
Text 1. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence.
So can someone tell what is the qualification? Krishna will impart this most confidential knowledge and realization. There are 2 things, knowledge and realization. These are 2 different things. Knowledge goes to the head, to the brain, to the intelligence. We can get information. But of course, there are some tattvas which get inside the spirit soul also. Realization is what Krishna gives us. From the spirit soul, we'll realize. So, when we get 2 things, this knowledge and realization, we'll be relieved from all miseries of material existence. That knowledge. Okay, he's going to reveal. But what is the qualification? Can someone say?
To become devotee of Lord Krishna and not envious of
Not envious.
Krishna.
Here very clearly mentioned. Because you are never envious of me. So what is the reason we are in the material world is because we are envious of Krishna. First we should accept that I am envious of Krishna. Anytime we think of sense gratification, anytime we think for ourselves, all these are due to envious of Krishna. So Arjuna became non-envious of Krishna. We should really be, as you said, we should become devotee of Krishna and friend of Krishna. 2 things Krishna is telling, not just devotee. Sometimes people become devotee because knowing the supremacy of Krishna. There is something called Jarasandha Bhaktas. They know Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. They know there's no other way. So they surrender. Not by free will, not by great affection, but by law. So Krishna is not just telling become a devotee alone. He is telling become a devotee and friend, favorably disposed towards Krishna with great love and affection and devotion. That is very important. When we know Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, there's nobody above him. Like an animal, we can bend down. Okay, no other way. I have to surrender to him. That's a forceful surrender based on law. More than that affectionate, favorable disposal towards Supreme Personality of Godhead is very, very essential. So, Bhaktaosime Saha Cheti, Saha, Saka also. That is favorably disposed towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This will be revealed by Rupa Goswami in the definition of devotion. Pure devotional service definition is given by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion, where we will see the definition. That time we will understand how important it is to be favorably disposed towards Krishna. So, becoming non-envious of Krishna. Many times we see that the devotees will say, you don't become envious of other devotee, you don't. Basically, the devotee will become envious of other devotees, other living entities. All these things are children sprouted. Small child sprouting. Because there's a large enviousness on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is exhibited as enviousness on other living entities, other devotees. All these things are exhibition. Once you set right your affection and devotion to Krishna, automatically you will have very beautiful Tattvartha with proper understanding, proper with the blessing of Acharya Parampara, as I said, will be revealed. How to be affectionate to Krishna. When you genuinely do it, then naturally you will become non-envious of other living entities. It's very natural. If you love Krishna, you will automatically love all other living entities. Okay. So Krishna is telling, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart you this most confidential knowledge. So, okay, we'll come back to this. Okay, read the second verse.
His knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed.
How wonderful is this? He is going to talk about knowledge. He said that the confidential knowledge and realization. Most confidential knowledge and realization I am going to give you. What are all there? This knowledge, first thing, it is king of education. Second, it is most secret of all secrets. So Supreme Lord doesn't easily reveal this. That is why he is calling it secret. Third, it is the purest knowledge. Some knowledge is contaminated by materialism. But this is purest of all knowledge. Why? So three things. One is king of education. We'll see Raja Vidya. Guhyam means secret. Guhyam. Gupta, Guhyam. All these are secret. Rahasyam. These mean secret. Okay. First is it is Raja Vidya. Second is Raja Guhyam. King secret of all secrets. King of all secrets. Pavitram. Idam Uttamam. Perfection of religion. It's Pavitram. Purest. It's Idam Uttamam. It's a perfection of religion. Topmost. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram, Idamuttamam, Pratyaksha Dharmam. It gives, because it gives direct perception of the self by realization. Very easily you can self-realize without any complicated methodologies. Very easily you can self-realize yourself as a spirit soul. So generally these kind of self-realization processes are very complicated. But here Krishna is telling, Pratyaksha Vagamyam Dharmam. Pratyaksham means you can just perceive so easily. Perception is so direct. Direct perception by self-realization. It's very, very simple, easy. Directly you can perceive, okay, I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul, I'm eternal servant of Krishna. Any spirituality is simply directly, casually realized. Pratyaksha Vagamyam Dharmam. Susukam Kartum Abhyayam. Susukam. Ordinarily, Sukam means very comfortable, happy. comfortably happy situation is called Sukham. Sukham means very much comfortable, double comfort, means very convenient, very soothing, very easy, very simple, very comforting. Sukham kartum abhyayam is joyfully performed. The performance itself is so happy. Generally, self-realization processes are very complicated. So it's everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Whatever you're going to perceive is going to be very joyfully performed. So it's one of the very, very important slokas of Bhagavad Gita. So you should know how Krishna is glorifying the devotional service. He's going to reveal devotional service. At the end of the chapter, we'll see that how a pure devotee can be. Pure devotee, unalloyed devotion. Alloyed devotion, mixed devotion, I'm also a devotee, that is different. Without any other motive, just loving Krishna for the sake of loving Krishna, performing devotional service for the love of Krishna. How dear it is to the Lord and how it is, the performance is so blissful. So yesterday we had a discussion about Ananda. How Ananda should be there. Who doesn't want happiness? Who doesn't want Ananda? Everybody want to be happy. So here there is something which you joyfully perform. The performance is very joyful. And what you will get out of it? You will get a direct perception of the self by realization. And what kind of knowledge you will be realizing? Knowledge and realization you will get. Two things you will get. Only thing is we should not be envious of Krishna. Simple. And we perform this activity. This joyfully everlasting activity. So, that is just devotion only. And the devotion performed with great love and affection. That will be revealed. First, Krishna reveals about his supremacy. He tells that, of course, and not deviating from Krishna, going to another demigod, going to another place, looking for somebody else other than Krishna. That shouldn't be there. Exclusive devotion for Krishna with great love and affection. That's all very, very simple and straightforward. Okay. So this is the secret. So this is, I think this is also your mug-up sloka, your memory verse, this verse. Okay. Please read the next third.
Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attend me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world.
So immediately Krishna is not able to keep quiet. He immediately revealed that the devotional service, those who are in this devotional service, if we are not with the devotional service, they cannot attain Krishna. So anybody who, they will return back to this earth of birth and death in the material world if they are not faithful in this devotional service. There are two things. Staying in devotional service. Another is staying faithful in devotional service. So that's what I used to say, that devotional service is there and there is pure devotional service. And Lord Chaitanya is giving pure devotional service. So the list of pure devotional service is given in Nectar of Devotion. We'll go next to book which we are going to see after Bhagavad Gita is Nectar of Devotion, where you will understand exactly what are all the characteristics of pure devotional service, what standard I need to set. You have to set standards to hit the target. Sometimes when we have exams, we'll ask what are all the important questions to the teacher because the syllabus is very vast. Please tell some area in which I need to concentrate. I have 10 days study holidays. I cannot study everything. So the teacher may give, okay, these are important questions. Maybe you concentrate on this, like this. So initially we may take up devotional service as a wide range. But as we progress, as we move forward, the exam is coming nearby. then we need to be very attentive on certain aspects. In this way, becoming a pure devotional service, executing pure devotional service, becoming a pure devotee becomes a target. Try to execute devotional service without any contamination of other yoga systems or material desires, favorably to Krishna, under the direction of Bonavide spiritual master Acharya Parampara. That's all, so simple. Okay. And after that, here completely Krishna is going to explain about his supremacy. Then he is going to tell that how he is Ishvara, his supreme personality of Godhead, and people who surrender unto him is never captured by the clutches of Maya. It's very difficult to overcome, but because they capture Krishna's lotus feet, they'll easily overcome. And executing unalloyed devotional service, pure devotional service, will be the conclusion he will give. Okay, let us see 1 or 2 verses now. 9.1. Please repeat. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Sri
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Idam tu te guhyatamam.
Idam tu te
Guhyatamam
Pravakshyami anusuyave.
Pravakshyami
Anusuyave
Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam.
Jnanam
Sahitam
Yajnatva Mokshase Subhat.
Yajnatva
Mokshase
Subhat.
Subhat.
So you should understand 2 words here, Jnanam and Vijnanam. Jnanam means knowledge. Vijnanam means realization or realization of the knowledge, or we can say practical, theory and practical. So both are required, Jnanam and Vijnanam. So both will be attained. So Guhya Tamam, Guhya means secret. So the consecutively in 2 verses, Krishna is going to talk about Guhyam. So here in Bhagavan Vacha, Idam Guhya Tamam. So I am going to tell you the secret. And next verse also he says Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. So 2 times he is repeating in next verses the secret like this. So we have to be really attentive in this chapter to see what actually is the secret revealed, and we'll request Srila Prabhupada to reveal us, and will be revealed by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So idam te guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sagitam. So I am going to tell you this. Yajnatva mokshase subhat. So what will you do? You will get moksha. You will immediately get released, knowing this. Knowing, there are 2 things, knowing and realization. Both. There is 1 word Krishna is using, anusuyave. Anasuyave. Anasuyave means you are non-envious of me. So I am revealing this to you. Okay. Let us read the purport, read the translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. Read the purport.
As a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. This hearing process is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Godhead are discussed amongst the devotees. This cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators or academic scholars, for it is realized knowledge. The devotees are constantly engaged in the Supreme Lord's service. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and gives him the intelligence to understand the science of Krishna in the association of devotees. Discussion of Krishna is very potent, and if a misfortunate person has such association and tries to assimilate the knowledge, then he will surely make advancement towards spiritual realization. Lord Krishna, in order to encourage Arjuna to higher and higher elevation in his potent service, describes in the 9th chapter matters more confidential than any he has already disclosed. The very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the 1st chapter, is more or less an introduction to the rest of the book. And in the second and third chapters, the spiritual knowledge described is called confidentials. Topic discussed in the seventh and eighth chapters are specifically related to devotional service, and because they bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness, because they bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness. They are called more confidential. But the matters which are described in the ninth chapter deal with unalloyed pure devotion. Therefore, this is called the most confidential. One who is situated in the most confidential knowledge of Krishna is naturally transcendental. He therefore has no material pangs, although he is in the material world. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said that although one who has a sincere desire to render loving service to the Supreme Lord is situated in the conditional state of material existence, he is to be considered liberated. Similarly, we shall find in the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, that anyone who is engaged in that way is a liberated person. Now, this first verse has specific significance. The words idam gnana, this knowledge, refer to pure devotional service, which consists of 9 different activities: hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, obeying, maintaining friendship, and surrendering everything. By the practice of these 9 elements of devotional service, one is elevated to spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. When one's heart is thus cleared of material contamination, one can understand these signs of Krishna. Simply to understand that a living entity is not material is not sufficient. That may be the beginning of spiritual realization, but one should recognize the difference between activities of the body and the spiritual activities of one who understands that he is not the body. In the 7th chapter, we have already discussed the opulent potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his different energies, the inferior and superior natures, and all this material manifestation. Now, in 9th chapter, the glories of the Lord will be delineated. The Sanskrit word anasuvya in this verse is also very significant. Generally, the commentators, even if they are highly scholarly, are all envious of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the most erudite scholar write on Bhagavad Gita very inaccurately because they are envious of Krishna. Their commentaries are useless. The commentaries given by the devotees of the Lord are bona fide. No one can explain Bhagavad Gita or give perfect knowledge of Krishna if he is envious. One who criticizes the character of Krishna without knowing him is a fool. So, such commentaries should be very carefully avoided. For one who understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the pure and transcendental personality, these chapters will be very beneficial. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Om Tat Sat. Wow. Such a wonderful purport. So here, a devotee hears more, and this chapter has another beautiful verse. Machitta madgada prana bodhayanta parasparam kadayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. My devotees discuss among themselves about me, and they yield great pleasure. So if you call a materialistic person to talk about Krishna, he will not be interested. He will just go away. If you call a jnani or a yogi to discuss about Krishna, he will not be interested. He will either go away or he will be there for tarka and vada. He will do argument, logic. He will not relish, he will not yield relishment from that. Rather, he will try to bring contradictory topics in order to argue. Only devotees, they relish the topics of Krishna. So that is the difference. Here Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport how just sitting and hearing about Krishna itself, like all of us are getting together in Zoom, we are doing Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Bible, Bhakti Vedanta. Anybody gives some Krishna conscious topics, subjects in temple when there is Bhagavatam classes, we go and interestingly sit. But you'll see other people who come for darshan, they don't sit, they just come and go. And even if they sit 5-10 minutes, no ruchi, they are getting up and going away. So these are all the proofs of enviousness of Krishna. Now that the person who doesn't do that, he is genuinely interested, not because he want to just gain knowledge, but just because he's interested to know more about himself and God. Knowing that, not just I'm not the body, I'm spirit, soul is spirituality. Many times when we come to Krishna consciousness, so much knowledge I have got, I read Science of Self-Realization and I became a devotee. They'll be very proud, especially youth. Then I ask, okay, what is Krishna conscious according to you? Yeah, I'm not the body, I'm spirit, soul. So naked. And that's all. Yeah, that is the most important thing. With that, it concludes. But Prabhupada in the purport is telling that is not enough. That other yogis and jnanis also trying to do that. That's not enough. Okay, you are not the body, your spirit soul. As a spirit soul, what is your duty? What will you do? Knowing, okay, you know that you are not the body, your spirit soul. No, I'll realize. Okay. Even after realization, what you do? Whether you realize, you don't realize, you can act as a spirit soul, because anyway you're a spirit soul. You can start acting as a spirit soul right now. Whether you realize, you don't realize, because you're actually spirit soul entangled within the body. Just the information is enough. No need to wait for realization. We don't wait for the realization that I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul. We start acting as a spirit soul as soon as we get the information. That is the speciality of bhakti. It's a very, very excellent devotional service, is too excellent. Is because we don't wait, we don't waste time. We believe Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, we believe the Acharya. They say that actually you're not the body, you're spirit soul only. Certain logical explanation they give, yeah, we get to know. Yes, this is true. According to my intelligence, what they are telling is true. Okay, now as a spirit soul, what should I do? As spirit soul, you should execute devotional service. You are eternally related to God. You are part and parcel of Him. You are supposed to execute love Him. You are supposed to execute devotional service, showing that love. Loving devotional service. So immediately we engage in devotional service. The Acharya Parampara gives a complete system, an institution, a system where we can actually execute that activity of the spirit soul. And these activities are very simple. Going around Tulasi, going to Bangla going around the altar, getting Charanamrita, drinking Charanamrita, eating Prasadam. How wonderful. Susukam kartum abhyayam. When you do that, you get susukam. You get not sukam, you get susukam. Very happily performed, blissfully performed, easily performed. So first starts with hearing. So here, a devotee hears more and more about Krishna. He becomes more and more enlightened. So this is recommended in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Shrunmudam Swakta Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto hi Abhadrani Vidunoti Surut Satam. Your heart will be completely cleansed. The Supreme Lord will get established within your heart. The more you hear about Krishna, the more the transformation happens. So the message of the Supreme Lord are full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding Supreme Personality of Godhead is discussed among devotees. Generally among devotees we discuss it. This cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators or academic scholars. Sometimes they argue on the Sanskrit word. When I first came to Krishna consciousness, there was a person. We had a Bhagavad Gita class together. So he was also a fellow student with us, me and Prabhu. So he took the one statement. Even in my class, one student had asked later. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the first chapter, it is mentioned that the first chapter itself, they have argument. Raja Vachanam Abravit. So when Duryodhana comes and speaks to his Dronacharya in the first chapter, Raja Vachanam Abravit, there it is mentioned as Raja Vachanam Abravit. They directly read Sanskrit, but we read the translation and purport because we hear Bhagavad Gita from pure devotee. We don't try to approach Krishna directly. But this person asks how he can be mentioned as Raja. Raja is Dhritarashtra only, no? Raja is only Dhritarashtra. How Duryodhana can be called Raja? So these kind of informations are very relishing for non-devotees or argumentative people. They relish this kind of arguments because they're not interested in really knowing about Krishna, really knowing the concept. Really, I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul. What am I supposed to do? This life, I want to make it perfection. So we can pick up argument from any portion. Of course, there is an answer. Later, later, many 2-3 years later, when I heard Srila Prabhupada's one of the lecture, there Prabhupada is revealing. But that is not the purpose of reading Bhagavad Gita. You have an argument whether why he is called Raja. So, Prabhupada said that even though the father is the king, blind, he is not ruling. Whatever Duryodhana is asking, the father is executing. So, even the dummy, the Dhritarashtra is sitting as a dummy. But Duryodhana is running the kingdom. So, it is mentioned as Raja Vajanam Abravit. So, later, many years later, but at that particular point of time, we were not interested to know that Sanskrit words and Tarkavada, argumentative, no interest. To know really what is the purpose of my life. It's very important for me to do what I'm doing and to induce others in devotional service. So, of course, we need to know, but it's not too very essential. Because when we are discussing Bhagavad Gita, this cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators or academic scholars. For it is realized knowledge. This is a realization, this is not information. This is a realization. So only devotees gets realization. Non-devotee doesn't get realization. Academic scholars doesn't get realization. They get information. Mental speculators, they speculate. So there is so much to discuss and they think that, okay, I'm discussing Bhagavad Gita. Because they have a lot of controversial topics to talk about, they get relishment in that arguments. There's a ruchi in that argument for them. But that is why amongst devotees, these topics of Krishna has to be discussed among the devotees. This cannot be achieved. This realization, the potencies can be realized. Supreme Personality of Godhead has full potencies and it cannot be realized unless it is discussed among the devotees. They may time pass. Lot of 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, it can go on, but there is no rasa. Chewing the bamboo, thinking it is sugarcane. But real sugarcane is between the devotees when they discuss. They really know the tattva of Krishna. They really know he is Ishvara. Very clear understanding that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. When they have that. So in this chapter, Krishna is going to reveal himself that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the devotees know this very clearly. And they involve in their direct spiritual activity, which is discussing, hearing about Krishna, talking about Krishna. So what does devotee constantly do? The devotees are constantly engaged in the Supreme Lord's service. So the Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and gives him. So what does Lord know you? He knows you very clearly. We are all devotees, right? So what does Krishna know about us? This is told by Prabhupada here. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness. Lord knows both our mentality as well as our sincerity. Both are directly known by the Lord. That is why staying integrated is very important. And based on that, he gives the intelligence to understand the signs of Krishna in the association of devotees. So he will arrange a situation in which in the association of devotees will be able to really understand Krishna very well based on our mentality and sincerity. So discussion about Krishna is very potent, very powerful. If a fortunate person has such a association and try to assimilate the knowledge, then he will surely make advancement towards spiritual realization. We may be talking 2 hours, 3 hours about Bhagavad Gita. There are many scholars who are talking 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours about Bhagavad Gita. But is it on a Tarkavada platform, academic platform? Krishna knows that mentality. So spiritual realization comes from within the heart. And Lord gives that realization, not just the information. So Lord Krishna, in order to encourage Arjuna to higher and higher elevation, so it's not that all the devotees are same, all the devotees' internal realization are same. No. Even in Ishopanishad, we saw there is Kanishta Adhikari, there is Madhyama Adhikari, there is Uttama Adhikari. For all the devotees, all realizations are not same. It is not that what you understand, other person understands. What you realize, the other person realizes. I got a lot of information. I know about that. I know. Okay. You know, do you realize? You may not. It is Krishna who gives the realization. So Lord Krishna, he is encouraging Arjuna to progress further and further in his potent service. Lot of potency is there, internal potency especially. So in this 9th chapter, he's talking about something which is even more confidential than what he actually revealed in the previous chapters. In the previous 7th and 8th chapter also, he revealed about devotional service. 4 kind of people will surrender to Krishna. 4 people will not surrender gradually. But actually here he reveals the complete truth. So the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter, is more or less an introduction to the rest of the book. So here, all of you are writing summary. I've given you an assignment to write such a summary statements, 10 statements per chapter. All of you should write. When you finish Bhakti Shastri, anybody asks what is there in 7th chapter, what is there in 3rd chapter, what is there in 15th chapter. You should know very clearly. It is for your own personal benefit. I am not going to benefit anything out of it, and it's a great demand. I am demanding you to do it. Of course, you will get marks. The very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter, is more or less an introduction to the rest of the book. In the 2nd and 3rd chapter, the spiritual knowledge is described as confidential. Prabhupada is mentioning. And now the topic in the 7th and 8th chapters are specifically related to devotional service because they bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness. They are called more confidential. 7th and 8th chapters are also more confidential knowledge because pure devotional service, revelation about pure devotional service happened in that chapter. But the matter which is described in the 9th chapter is most confidential knowledge. More 6, 7 and 8 are more confidential knowledge, but the most confidential knowledge are unalloyed, pure devotion. That is described in the 9th chapter. So it's called most confidential knowledge. So more confidential, 7th and 8th. Most confidential is 9th. So that is why I thought that you should have a chapter summary, at least a small paragraph of what is there in that chapter. All of you should be thorough to claim yourself to be Bhakti Shastri. Here Prabhupada does this. That is why before starting 9th chapter itself, I gave you that assignment. But I don't know how many of you did. By this weekend, you should complete it. One who is situated in the most confidential knowledge of Krishna is naturally transcendental. He always have already transcended the material. Because he has transcended the material, he doesn't undergo material miseries. So, this, as I told you, Nectar of Devotion only describes about such activities which are totally pure. So, although one who has a sincere desire to render loving devotional service to Supreme Lord is situated in the confidential state of material existence, he is to be considered liberated, Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means he will be in the material world, he will be in the conditional state, he will be situated in the conditional state, but still he'll be liberated when in this world. Like Prabhupada, he was moving around amongst us. Guru Maharaj is moving amongst us, but he's not conditioned soul. He's a liberated soul. Same way, if we sincerely render devotional service to the Supreme Lord, then we also will be liberated even before we leave the body. It's not that you have to leave the body to become a mukta person. Can be within the body and be mukta. Similarly, we shall find in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter that anyone who is engaged in that way is a liberated person. So a sincere devotee, sincerely engaged in service to Krishna, he is a liberated person. So this first verse has a specific significance. So here, two words are there. Anusuyave, that will be discussed later. Idam jnanam. So here the word idam jnanam, this knowledge, which Krishna is talking about, which knowledge, which realization? It is pure devotional service. It is not just devotional service, it is pure devotional service. Sometimes people doesn't know the difference between devotional service and pure devotional service. And they make fun. Oh, what? Pure devotion, why you are behind pure devotion? Like this. Because Rupa Goswami is telling, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami wrote it in the book. So we can set our standards for executing devotional service. We can set our own standards. The standards are described. Picking it up, not picking it as up is up to you. You want to set lower standards, set it. But don't inspire everybody to set low standard. That is not appreciable. So what is this pure devotional service? Don't worry. Simple. Guru Maharaj again and again tells about 9 devotional service. He says that Mayapur Dham is created by Srimati Radharani to Krishna as a gift. And Mayapur Dham, this Navadvip Dham has 9 islands, Navadvipa. And one island is representing one devotional service. And he gives so much importance to these devotional services. And the devotional service starts with hearing. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Dasyam, Archanam, Padasevanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Here in the list is given in a little different way. Sravanam, Kirtanam, actually Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So, we may repeat this again and again, what are all the 9 processes. But we have to check to ourselves. Am I doing this? Am I hearing about Krishna? Interestingly, am I chanting Krishna's names regularly? Am I remembering whatever I am hearing? Unless you don't have information, how will you remember? Your mind chews upon what you have gathered through hearing, through seeing. So that is why we go to the temple, we go to holy places, we see many things. And when it is like the cow which is grazing, and when you come back to your own place where there is no holy place or anything, you chew, you remember, you take it back. Like the cow, as much as possible, it will graze. 2 or 3 hours, the covered man will leave the cow to graze. It will not digest, it will not do anything, it will not chew. It will take it, 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 it will eat. The stomach of cow is different. In school, we would have seen the digestive system of a cow, which is different from human. Human has to chew immediately and he has to send it directly for digestion, but a cow can accumulate. So like a cow, we graze upon the spiritual dhams, spiritual places, pastimes. We gather. And the mind has one activity. Many people mind control. It's very easy. What you do is Sravanam Kirtanam. What you do mostly, that Sravanam gets imbibed within your mind. Mind has the habit of taking and chewing whatever information given to it. So give this information. Now when you are away, then you can take it and chew it. So that is remembering. hearing, chanting, remembering, you can bring the entire scene in front of your eyes. Because you are already seen it, already heard it. Hearing, chanting, remembering. Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. So Prahlad Maharaj, how he was able to remember? Because only remembrance he was able to do. Chanting he was able to do a little. But no hearing in Hiranyakashipu's kingdom. No serving, no worshipping, no praying, no deities, no temples, no arati for Prahlad to attend. But a spiritual master, Narada Muni, whatever he spoke and spoke and spoke and spoke when he was there in the womb and just born, a small boy, whatever he heard, that only father came back as soon as he was born. From tapasya. Till then he was with the Narada Muni. Whatever he accumulated, that only is the remembering, taking and chewing back. And that just the remembering of what he heard gave him the perfection in life. That Supreme Lord appeared for him. But we can do other things also. We are not being stopped. We can serve. We have an institution called ISKCON. Many different services are being provided there. So we can do worship, we can do praying, we can offer obeisances. Obey Krishna's instruction. We can maintain friendship with Krishna by revealing everything to him. And we surrender everything. Manasa Jeho Deho Geho Jokichumor Arpilu Tuvapade Nandakishore. My very existence is for you. Whatever I have is for your service. Nothing is more valuable in this world to purchase other than the devotional service. We have to spend your money for Krishna. All worth it. Very much worth it. Surrendering everything. By the practice of these 9 elements of devotional service, one is elevated in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So when we involve in this 9 process, our heart is very clearly cleared from all material contamination. Then we can understand the signs of Krishna so easily and clearly. So here the other yogis, jnanis, and other spiritualist persons, what is their aim? Their aim is to simply understand that the living entity is not a material. That is not sufficient. That is not sufficient. That is very, very basic. That may be the beginning of spiritual realization. Prabhupada is telling here, simply understand that I am not the body, I am spirit, soul is not enough. That may be the beginning of spiritual realization. Some people stay for many, many years. Many years. And they take same concept they tell. I am not the body, I am spirit, soul. I am what is in Bhagavad Gita? I am not the body, I am spirit, soul. I am not the body, I am spirit, soul. Excuse me, Bhagavad Gita doesn't have only 2nd chapter. It has 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th chapter also. Kindly progress within Bhagavad Gita. At least you are anyway loitering in the same book only, going around Bhagavad Gita. So, simply to understand that the living entity is not material is not sufficient. That may be the beginning of spiritualization. But one should recognize the difference between the activities of the body and the spiritual activities of one who understands that he is not the body. There are activity also. Okay, I know I am not the body, I am spirit, soul. Okay, fine. That is not enough. So, jnana vijnana sakitam. What is the jnana you got? Okay, I am not the body, I am spirit, soul. What is vijnana? Body will do these things, and spirit soul will do this things. Ask a yogi, he doesn't know what a spirit soul will do. Ask a jnani, he doesn't know what a spirit soul will do. Karmi anyway will not know. Jnana yoga person, karma yoga person, Ashtanga Siddhi yoga person doesn't know what the activity of the spirit soul, but Bhakta knows the activity of the spirit soul. So spiritual activities means spiritual activity should be there. As soon as they go to spirituality, they become inactive. They think spirituality means inactiveness. Leave the world, leave the dress, leave eating, leave sleeping, go to the forest. There are also trees. Why you are going to the forest? That's why they go to Brahmajyoti. So in the 7th chapter, we have already discussed the opulent potency of the Supreme Lord. Krishna described certain opulence. We'll have more opulence to be described in further chapters. And Krishna discussed the 7th chapter. Bhumi Rafo Analo Vayu Kamanor Buddhirevacha Hankariti Amme Binna Prakriti. So he's talking two things. It's external energy and internal energy. Both he discussed in the 7th chapter. He talked about all his material manifestation. But now he will directly reveal that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are going to have amazing slokas, but directly Krishna is telling, I am the reason for creation. Sustenance, destruction, everything is happening only by my will. I am the Supreme Lord. That revealing is happening here. But a person who is envious, he will think, oh, Krishna is glorifying himself. So there is one incident one devotee told that one senior devotee, some devotee was going in the train. At that time, one person, he has read Bhagavad Gita, maybe 9th chapter also, non-devotee. He is coming and telling, why Krishna is telling, I am the one who created the world, I am God, I am God. Why Krishna is telling? Don't you think he has to be humble? You shouldn't be very proud and boast off that he is Supreme Lord. Like that. So the devotee kept quiet. He was having Bhagavad Gita in his hand, devotee. Seeing that only, he asked, okay, you are reading Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling, I am God, and all. Why he has to tell that? He is not humble, he is boasting of so much like this. But Krishna is not boasting of, because Krishna's opulence is unlimited. He is not revealing the unlimited opulence in Bhagavad Gita. Very, very little, very little. And he's again and again telling most confidential, and he's revealing a little bit. But that fellow told like that. So this devotee kept quiet. After some time, the devotee started speaking casually. He asked the other person, sir, who are you? What are you doing? I'm such a place. I'm actually manager in State Bank of India. One of the branches, I am the manager. So the devotee asked, why can't you be humble? Why are you telling that you're manager? You can be humble, no? You can tell you're peon or something. No, I'm really manager. See, this is my card also. I'm manager only. No, sir, still you have to be humble. You should not boast off to everybody, I'm manager, I'm manager. You have to tell something, I'm sweeper, I'm the peon. No, I'm really manager, so why should I tell I'm a sweeper? He told. I'm not boasting off, I'm telling the truth, he said. Then the devotee said, yes, same way Krishna also is not boasting off. He is God, so he's telling I'm God. Why he has to tell, no, I'm not God, I'm this, that. Why he should tell like that? He's not boasting off, he's just telling the truth. Like that. I really liked this analogy. The way the devotee handled was very, very nice. Then the person understood, okay, Krishna is really Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here in the 9th chapter, Krishna reveals that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why that man asked that? Because they are envious of Krishna. Even though Krishna is really God, they cannot digest the fact that Krishna is God. Cannot digest the fact that Krishna is God. So here, the Sanskrit word anusuyave is very, very significant, because the commentators of Bhagavad Gita, even they are very highly scholarly, they are envious of Krishna. Many people talk Bhagavad Gita, but they are envious of Krishna. Not devotees who are chanting Hare Krishna, those who are connected with ISKCON, connected with Srila Prabhupada, will naturally love Krishna. Prabhupada has that potency to give us that. That is different. Connected with the Acharya Parampara, there is no problem. We don't become envious because we start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But others, especially who are the readers of Bhagavad Gita, many are there. Even online, they come, they give classes on Bhagavad Gita or some explanation, full of enviousness on Krishna. They envy the author and they want to become famous by that book. Why? You don't like Krishna, We are touching Krishna's book. But they can become famous by quoting Bhagavad Gita. Highly scholarly, they are envious of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the most erudite scholars write Bhagavad Gita very inaccurately. They post Bhagavad Gita very wrongly. Because they are envious of Krishna, these commentators are useless. So Krishna says that I will not reveal. The third sloka we read, I will not reveal. They won't know me. I will not reveal myself. I will not reveal the original content of Bhagavad Gita to him. Whatever is understanding as Bhagavad Gita is not the Bhagavad Gita. So only the devotees, commentary given by devotees are bona fide. No one can explain Bhagavad Gita or give perfect knowledge of Krishna if he is envious. Talking wrong about Krishna, being envious of Krishna but not Bhagavad Gita, the explanation is a waste. Better not to listen to such explanations. One who criticizes the character of Krishna without knowing him is a fool. Sometimes they say, oh, Krishna has many girlfriends. Krishna has many gopis, he's dancing. Doesn't know the supremacy of the Lord, the relationship between the Lord and the Jiva. Lord is the Ishvara. The relationship between Jiva and Ishvara, the relationship between his external energy and Ishvara. What is material, what is spiritual, nothing they know clearly. But they criticize the character of Krishna without knowing him. They are fools. So such commentators should be carefully avoided. So never ever encourage also, even if you are preaching and your member is telling, sir, I already have Bhagavad Gita. Where did you buy? From some Mayavadi. No, that is not the syllabus. You have to buy ISKCON's Bhagavad Gita as it is. See to that they are buying Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. Any Bhagavad Gita is not all right. Oh, you already have it, it's okay, 200 rupees you save, 300 rupees you save. It's poison. Don't make them drink the poison, because those commentators bring poison into them. So we should give Amrita. For one who understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the pure and transcendental personality, these chapters will be beneficial. So we as devotees, we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We are genuinely trying to understand Krishna properly. He is the Supreme Lord. We accept wholeheartedly. So that is why Guru Maharaj asks in the initiation question paper, the first question is, how do you say that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead? Do you accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead? So yes. How? Because he has 6 opulences in full. Bhagavan. Bhaga means opulence. Van means one who possesses opulence. Given by Parasara Muni, the father of Vyasadeva, gave the definition of the word Bhagavan and the 6 opulences. So, the pure and transcendental personality. So, for us, this chapter will be very beneficial. Krishna will reveal it to us because we are chanting Hare Krishna Mantra by the instruction of Krishna, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With great and love and affection we have for our acharyas, our parampara. All that we have, then surely this will be revealed to us. Okay, that's it. Any questions or comments? We'll discuss second sloka onwards tomorrow, and certain summary portions we'll see tomorrow also. Hare Krishna. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. As there are no comments or questions, we'll wind up here and meet tomorrow to see the further summary and also maybe the second verse. Okay. As far as possible, take down that 10 points which I told you. Nicely do it by yourself, no? You just go through quickly. The chapter 1 already exam you passed. The chapter 2, 6 chapters you have already passed the exams. So you just need to go through basically and write your own realizations. Especially keep the memory sloka in the center. And then try to prepare a basic summary. Try to prepare. Even you can use, I don't mind if you use ChatGPT or something, but you should, the ChatGPT takes from everywhere, but you should ask it to take only from Bhagavad Gita as it is. But you have to fine tune those points. The ChatGPT's output is not perfect. It's all a mess. Whether any Copilot, any AI tool is not perfect. It is very mechanical. First thing, Mayavadi and all it gives. One time we saw that there was a drama which was made and they took Mayavadi dialogues about Narsinghadev, Prahlad Maharaj and all. It was very pathetic. So you should very scrutinizingly go through and compare it with the chapters. Take only the verses. Like you can go here, open here, only the verses. I'll show you. Go here, how to see, I'll tell you. Go to here, instead you put just BG. So go into Bhagavad Gita, then you will know the 6 chapters. Chapter 1 to chapter 6. And click only one chapter, only the translation you will get. So Dhritarashtra said, okay, no need. Sanjaya said no. Even question answer if you are taking, go to chapter 2 or 3. Then you will know what chapter 2 you go. Very big chapter. So wherever Arjuna said is coming, it's the question. This may not be direct question, but as we go further, then there will be direct question where Krishna, because Arjuna is speaking and speaking and speaking. When Krishna starts speaking, then there is answer. You can take it as a short form and you can write the answer. For your own reference, you are going to claim yourself to be a degree holder, international degree holder of Bhakti Shastri. The primary book of Bhakti Shastri is Bhagavad Gita. You should know very clearly what is there in each of the chapters in 18 chapters. Even if you write 2-3 lines, that is all right. I have the summary, but I don't want to show you. I want you to go through and try to build upon yourself for your own notes. Question and answer. What is the question asked by Arjuna? What is the answer given by Krishna? The 2-3 lines you write. No need to write so much. If you have a Bhagavad Gita book, take a pencil. Have the Bhagavad Gita book in your hand. And you can mark down. And write down in a notebook. What is the question? Immediately Krishna answers. Of course, sometimes the answer will be very long. But the immediate answer is given in next 2-3 slokas, 4 slokas itself will give answer. Most of the, important portion of the answer will be there. Detailed answer comes later. But quick answer will start there only. So at least you can have an idea. Okay? I don't want to show my thing and spoon feed. I want you to work out on that. Do it for the 6 chapters. Okay? Tomorrow we'll again see the second sloka. So you don't have any homework, anything. Weekend also you are free. So we can do it, no? Weekend, sit and do it. Okay, Hare Krishna. We'll offer our loving, respectful obeisances to the Acharya Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and Ananta Kodi Vaishnavas to bless us to understand Bhagavad Gita properly. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Guru Maharaj ki jai.